Thank you for joining me. We will be starting in approximately 1 minute. Hi, and thank you for joining me on this Tuesday. My name is Wayne from Ascend Custom Designs. I am a small business owner and a part of the xTool Squad program. So what is the xTool Squad, you might ask? The xTool Squad is a global network of experience makers, educators, and small business owners such as myself. We offer one-on-one demos of the xTool products that we own. The demos are a mix of online and in person. It differs by the host. The host will also offer material testing and skill training. Material testing involves testing customer supplied samples under a number of different parameters to get you perfect results. And skill training essentially entails a one-on-one masterclass with an xTool Squad member with help from initial setup and maintenance to helping you skip any learning curves. We will help you perfect the projects that you're aiming to produce. So that's pretty much what skill training is. We'll help you from start to finish and set you up for success. Right now, xTool is running a promotion. All demos are absolutely free. If you're looking for samples of the apparel printer, there is a cost to that. And that differs by the region. I think it's £14.99 Great British pounds if you're in the UK. But if you're just looking for a demo, either in person or online, absolutely free. If you want to find out more information about that, you can have a look at the website below, and that's support.xtool.com/xtool-squad, and I will show you that just a little bit later. Alternatively, you can scan the QR code, so demo.ascendcd.com. That will forward you straight to my profile on the xTool Squad, where you can book me. If you don't want to book me, you can go out of it and look at the hosts around you. I would highly recommend you find a local host where you can actually go and visit and physically see the machines. I get so much great feedback when I demo the machines in person. So when I was at the NEC, a lot of people have heard of xTool, but they believe that a lot of the stuff was gimmicks, video editing, a bit of AI. When they saw me engraving coasters, keychains in person, they was absolutely gobsmacked. So I highly recommend seeing it in person and speaking to whatever host you see. If you're wondering what the host gets out of it, xTool will pay the host regardless if you buy the machine or not. So xTool will compensate the host for their time. So this is where xTool is running that promotion where it's free. So typically you would have to pay for this. So xTool are that confident that you'll buy a machine if you really are interested, that they're paying the host to demo it you, if you buy it or not. If you do decide to buy it within a certain time frame, the host that you went with will get a small commission. So this is a rough workshop of what we'll be going over today. And again, this is very rough. I'm going to be demoing Customthings again. So I'll be doing that all this week. I'll be doing it again Thursday and Friday. And again, if anyone has any questions, please do feel free to ask. So the two machines that I'll be using, so I'll mostly be using the F2 Ultra UV today, but I also have the F2, just the baby one. So that's the 5 watt and 15 watt diode laser. We'll go over some laser safety training, or just some laser safety. Briefly show you the xTool Creative Studio software and Customthings within that. I'm using the enterprise version, so this is for the multiple stores, but it's essentially very much the same. And then I'll briefly show you the Retail Studio tablet. So the tablet that xTool was kind enough to leave with me at the last expo that I did with them. And this is just an Android-based tablet that boots up into Customthings automatically, so you can't do anything else. You can download and install it on your own tablet, but do know that if you use, say, an iPad, it is a few versions behind, and that's not on xTool. That's the app approval process from Apple. It takes a little while, so if you want the latest version of Customthings, go with their kiosk. So they have 3 different versions. They have the small tablet, and then they have a bigger one that fits on the desk, that stands on the desk, and then another one that's freestanding from the floor. Today we'll be covering some customized cards. I'll be using some bog basic card stock that I got from Hobbycraft, A6 in size, multiple colors. I've added the settings, but I'll go through all that with you. We'll be doing keychains and a lot more. And again, if anyone has any questions, please feel free to drop it in the comments. If you're watching this after it's aired, feel free to reach out to me. My contact details, again, are on the left. So that's wayne@ascendcd.com. You can also contact me via phone. I'm on WhatsApp Business or iMessage. And alternatively, if you go to info.ascendcd.com, you'll be greeted with all my social media handles and, again, how to reach out to me. So please, again, feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. So this is the xTool F2. It's a 5-watt infrared and 15-watt diode laser. It's capable of engraving well over 300 different materials. I used it extensively for my own wedding. It's capable of speeds of up to 6,000 millimeters a second. So it's really quick. It's a galvo laser. So this operates different than, say, a gantry, a laser that moves on a physical gantry. This one uses a mirror to bounce the laser around the bed, and that's why it's able to achieve these crazy fast speeds. It has a 50 megapixel camera, and that allows a live preview of whatever's in the work area, and it has an alignment accuracy of up to 0.1 millimeters when properly focused. And for that, it is about the thickness of a A4 standard 80 GSM copy paper, so that's how accurate it is. So if you get a piece of copy paper, the thickness of that copy paper is effectively how accurate the laser camera system is. It comes pre-assembled and it's ready to use once you do a quick calibration and do the laser safety training. In terms of work area, it's 11.5 by 11.5 centimeters. So that's roughly the size of a coaster. Do I have one? I do. So this is a 10 centimeter by 10 centimeter coaster. I'll show you I'll put this in the in both of the work areas so you can see. So again, this is the same thing, 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters. You can extend it to 11.5 by 40 centimeters with the slide extension. If you want to find out more information about the F2, scan the QR code below, and that will bring you to xTool's official page, and it'll be the UK version. And then in terms of the F2 Ultra UV, it's a 5-watt UV laser, and this operates a lot differently than the other lasers in the sense of it operates at a completely different wavelength. It's sometimes known as a cold laser or cold processing, and that's because it produces minimal heat. And that's not to say it doesn't produce heat and you can't stop it, because you can. It just produces minimal heat compared to the other types of lasers, so like CO2, diode, infrared, fiber. So it's a lot more difficult to create a fire with this one. Well, I should say it's more difficult to burn or to damage material with this laser than it is with the others. So for this reason, this laser is able to engrave on a whole wide range of materials without damaging it. My watch, for example, I engrave on this silicon. So if I switch over to the desk camera, so my watch here, I was able to engrave my dog. And again, this is a line drawing that I used AI Make. So I used xTool's software to convert that into an image or a line drawing of an image. Same thing. So this is a Ring doorbell plug that I've engraved. And again, that's the same image that was on my watch. And this is my dog's, or was my dog's, ring bearer pouch. And I was able to engrave on this. And this is like a fake leather. And honestly, the resolution of the image, because the dot size is so much tinier in comparison to the others, it's able to get high levels of detail. In terms of speed, 15,000 millimeters a second. So that's 150% increase over the f2. So this machine is extremely fast. It has a 48 megapixel camera. And again, that camera allows a live workspace preview and has an alignment accuracy of 0.2 millimeters. So again, still very accurate. This machine is also known as the master of glass, as you're able to engrave not just directly onto glass, but on the inside of glass if you change the lens. And it comes with the lens, 2 different types of lenses, and it simply just snaps off. So if you're looking to engrave on the inside of glass, this is the machine that you would want. If you're looking to engrave directly to glass, again, this machine you definitely would want. Do I have? I do not. I engraved extensively on glass for my wedding. So I engraved a picture of me, my wife, and my dog. And the way that engraves glass is a little bit different than the way that CO2 lasers engrave glass. And the way that CO2 lasers engrave glass is they cause microfractures, which creates like a frosting effect. This compromises the integrity slightly of the glass, whereas the UV laser engraves directly to the glass. So it engraves a little bit different. And again, this unit is ready to use once unboxed. It comes pre-assembled. And again, you have to do a quick calibration. If you move these machines, you have to calibrate them. When I moved these machines from here to the NEC in Birmingham, I had to do a quick calibration. And again, when I moved them back in the short journey from the NEC back home, again, I had to calibrate them as the dots didn't line up. It's pretty straightforward, and the software guides you through the whole process. In terms of work area, it has a 20 centimeters by 20 centimeters work area. You'll be able to fit 4 of these. So it's much larger than the F2. And again, you can expand on the work area. So you keep the same height, but you can expand the width up to 50 centimeters with the conveyor belt. So if I was to show you now a quick preview or a quick demo of the F2 so you can physically see it. There we go. So this is the F2. We won't really be using this much today, if at all. This is the guard. So this is what protects you. When this guard is fully down, any light that the laser produces is filtered through this, make it safe. If you do operate it with the guard up, which you can override, you will need a pair of safety glasses, and we'll cover that next in the laser safety training. Both machines come with an L bracket. They are slightly different. The thumb screw size, I think this is M3 and maybe the other one's M4. Don't quote me on it, but the screw sizes are different. There's an emergency stop here on the side. If you push that all the way in, it will cut the power to the machine. So don't use that as an off button. The off switch is on the back. I have this hooked up in terms of the hose to a air filter underneath here, underneath my desk. So I'm filtering all that smoke into the air purifier. The F2 Ultra UV I have going out the window. The dial here is also a button. So when you send the job, you press this dial in once, start the job. In terms of focusing the laser, if I was to turn this on, it lights up. And then what you're greeted with once it powers up is you'll see a red light and a blue light. So if I was to just zoom in quickly on that, I'm just going to move them out of focus and hopefully you can see that. So you see both a red dot and a blue dot. And what I'm going to do is just use this dial on the side. If I switch the camera to zoom out. So if I use this here, so you can see there's two distinct dots there. Now if I move this, it moves the laser up and the two dots have become one, and that has focused the laser to this material, so it's at the optimal distance. You can do this automatically through the software. That's the way I'd recommend it, but you do have the ability to do it manually. And then in terms of this button here, this is a framing button. We won't really cover that today, but if you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Now, in terms of the F2 Ultra UV, so this is this machine, much bigger. If I was to get the fork coaster, again, you can see can easily fit in here. Again, when this is fully down, you're protected from the light, so you won't actually see this light when it engraves. It's invisible to the human eye. So the diode laser you'll be able to see, and the infrared, you should be able to see that laser too. But in terms of this UV laser, you definitely won't be able to see it. It is much larger, much heavier. So I think the F2 is about 4.6 kilograms, something like that. Call it 5 kilograms, not that heavy. I've taken it on the train, for example. This machine, however, is 22.5 kilograms, much heavier, not as easy to move as you would imagine. It's not probably the weight, believe it or not, that's difficult to make it move. You have to grab it from underneath. I've got small fingers, thankfully, so I'm able to grab it from underneath. You can't really grab it from the protective casing. So it's not as portable as the F2. This does come with this little touchpad. So you're able, when you use the computer to send a job, it comes up on the screen, so you're able to see it here. This does work with the F2, but the F2 does not come with this by default. I'm told that you can buy it, and xTool are looking into the link. So if someone's interested in purchasing the F2 but want this little touchscreen, please reach out and I will get that link over to you. Also has an emergency stop. Power button has a USB and a USB-C. So the USB-C is used to hook up to your computer. The USB is literally for a USB stick. If you plug it in, you can run jobs offline off the USB stick. So if you save the files onto the USB stick from xTool Creative Studio, you're able to use them. So it comes in very handy. Also comes with hose, and I have this venting out the window. And this is the L-shaped bracket. And if you're wondering why I have this base plate in there, just to protect the bottom. So when you're engraving, so this just goes on top. So when I was testing out settings, you might not be able to see it, but engrave the actual base plate. Not going to hurt the machine. This specifically This here is specifically for if you're cutting. So I tested this machine cutting wood, and I'm very surprised. It cuts through wood, no problem. Not just that, no burning. And the tolerances, it's so tight. It's unbelievable, really. And I think that is pretty much it. In terms of hose pipe length, I think it's 1.2 meters on both the F2 and the F2 Ultra UV. And what we'll be doing today is I'll be going over customizing some cards. So we got the different card stock that I showed you earlier. And I'll show you how easy it is in Customthings to add your own templates, add your own images. The customer can upload their own image. For a card, I wouldn't typically allow them to upload an image because it won't turn out correctly. If I got a, yeah. So on cork, like this, it's not so much of a problem, but cardstock, an image wouldn't come out like a normal image you have on your camera phone wouldn't necessarily come out good. So you can enable or disable certain options that you'd want. So I know that an image, if they upload an image on this cardstock, it won't come out good. So I won't give them that ability. Whereas if they're doing a cork coaster, I can allow them to upload that image as I know I'm able to work with it and get it to engrave in a nice way. What you can do with the enterprise version is you can allow the customer to upload an image and then turn it into a cartoon, for example. You can enable different AI filters. This would come out okay on a card, an actual image wouldn't. So if they use the AI feature to convert their proper photo into something AI, so this is a cartoon AI filter, that will engrave nicely. So you have a lot of different options. So what we'll do now is we'll jump straight over to the laser safety training. So that pretty much is this. So never leave the machine unattended, flat stable surface, don't modify the machine. So where they're fully enclosed, so no holes in the machine or anything like that. There's a reason why it's built the way it is. If you can't vent the smoke outdoors, you can get an air purifier for the F2 or an AP2 for the F2 Ultras. And then there's certain types of material you should never engrave. PB seal vinyl, they produce very bad fumes, damage your lungs, damage the machine. It's literally a lose-lose all around. So if in doubt, always check. Certain types of leather you have to be very careful with, as they have bad things in them. So do check. So I think vegetable tanned leather is good, whereas leather that's tanned in a different way has soaked up them chemicals. And when you engrave it or cut it, it releases it. And again, just always check. If in doubt, don't engrave. And then in terms of safety glasses, I have a third-party pair, and I have xTool's safety glasses. I recommend going with xTool's simply for the fact that you know what they're protecting you from. You can buy a third-party pair. They're literally similar in price. I know that these protect me from the F2 Ultra UV, whereas these are not rated for the UV. So if I operate the UV laser with the guard open, these will not protect me at all. So safety glasses are not just normal safety glasses, they're protecting you from very specific wavelengths of light. So always check. And if I was to show you xTool's website, so if I go over to the shopping cart, so these are the safety glasses, £45, and again, you know exactly what they protect you from. So if I go just here, compatible with these wavelengths, and these are the machines that it protects you against. So it's very, very handy. Just hide me, there we go. They fit over glasses as well, which is quite nice, depending on the size of your glasses, obviously. I have a pair of glasses that they do not fit over, but I have literally 5 pairs of glasses. They fit over 4 pairs, but not a bigger pair of glasses that I have. Then in terms of other things, you have this air purifier, and again, this just attaches, and this is for the F2, just the small one. If you try and hook up the bigger machines, you'll be stuck, as the hose pipe is a different size completely. This machine can keep up with the output of the F2, F1, and M1 Ultras, and it simply just connects to the side. It's a small, very lightweight device, has a filter in it, easy to clean, automatically turns on when the machine's in use, goes idle once the machine has stopped doing what it's doing, so it syncs perfectly with the machines. Highly recommend getting that if you're going to be engraving indoors. If you're going to engrave cylindrical objects, you have two options, the RA3 or the RA2. So the RA2 is their old version. So the RA3 is the latest and greatest. And the biggest difference is the RA3 is fully magnetic, whereas this uses a tool to switch between the different chucks. So if you're constantly switching between doing, say, wine glasses to tumblers to balls to rings, you might want to look at spending just a little extra money and getting this one. So I do have both, and I will always use the RA3 because I never know what chuck I want, and I'm switching between them, and it's very simple. So I would highly recommend getting that. And then in terms of slide extension, I have this slide extension, not expensive, and it just slides underneath your F2 or F1 even, connects up with the provided cable, and you have to operate it with the guard open a little bit, so you will need a pair of glasses. Glasses aren't included in the base configuration, and this is how you get that 40 centimeters of width. And then in terms of conveyor belt, this will be for the Ultras. So this is here, and this is more expensive at 470, but it operates completely different. It's literally a conveyor belt like you would find at Sainsbury's or Tesco. And again, it expands that width up to 50 centimeters. So if you're looking to batch produce things, or maybe do bigger projects, so you're doing maybe a piece of wood, this is what you would need. xTool have you covered in pretty much all aspects. Probably just the AP2 that we need to look at, and that's the air purifier for the Ultras. And you can also get the AP2 Max, which is for the P3 and metal fab. Much bigger machine, and it's able to keep up with the amount of fumes that the machine creates. I highly recommend getting this if you're getting the Ultras and operating it indoors. You don't want to be breathing in fumes. Right now, xTool running different promotions. If you're interested in purchasing one, please reach out. I can get you an additional discount on top of whatever promotion is running. We can at least price match or beat third-party prices. So if there's a third-party distributor that has it at a cheaper price, please reach out, and the manufacturer can get you a better price, if not match it. And I think that is pretty much it in terms of accessories and things like that. In terms of the software, you can go up here and xTool Studio, hit download, take it to the bottom of the page. It knows I'm running Apple Silicon, so this runs on Apple Silicon natively. Also runs on old style Macs with the Intel chips, and it works on Windows. So I have this installed on a Windows 10 PC as well as a Windows 11 PC. And then in terms of demos, so product demos, if you go up here, local services, you can arrange material testing, machine training, commission services. If you go to product demo, you can search for a host. If I just look in Birmingham, Go by Birmingham Airport. You can see straight away where hosts are. It's just that simple. When booking, it doesn't ask for any payment information other than if you was to do skill training or material testing. And this is where it will cost you if you're looking for a sample, and that's just for the apparel printer. And it's £12.99, sorry. So 12, nearly £13 for a apparel printer film sample. And that just covers postage and the host's time. In terms of products, all these products for a demo, absolutely free. And again, xTool will pay the host regardless if you buy or not. And you can filter out whether online or in person. I highly recommend in person. If in doubt, obviously go online. And that is pretty much it. So if I quickly show you the xTool Creative Studio. So this is where you would run the machine from. You download that software. It's a fantastic piece of software. It's come on leaps and bounds in the time that I've started using it. So I used to use Lightburn. Now I've moved from Lightburn, got rid of my third-party lasers that use Lightburn, and now I just have xTool lasers. I would recommend you go to the xTool Academy and select the machine that you're looking at. You have proper resources from xTool. You even have some xTool endorsed third-party videos. So these are done by people that have brought the machine, and xTool have reached out to them to create some training videos. So these are real people that have real businesses, but these are proper resources directly from xTool. I would highly recommend you go to and check out this laser safety training. You can download the software today and go through it. Once you completed the software, the laser safety training and the software, you get a certificate. This comes in handy for risk management if you're doing craft shows. Some are very particular and want risk management in place. This comes in handy for that. And at the end of it, it's marked off. It's a fantastic idea and a way to keep track of what you're doing. And then today's what we're covering, custom things. So the version I'm showing you is slightly different than this. I'm showing you the enterprise version, but it's very much the same. So in here, if I go to my subscriptions, they have a few different packages. They have a free plan, unlimited products, so you can add as many products as you want. You're only limited by the number that you process. So you can process 10 items a month. And with the profit for that, you should easily be able to pay for this $29 a month plan. And with that, you get the ability to process 100 items. And again, if you're hitting that limit, you should be making enough profit to be able to afford the $69 a month. And it is in dollars, so that's not pounds. So this is literally whatever $69 is in Great British pounds. You can process 500 items a month. It comes with its own payment gateway if you use the paid version. Slightly better transaction rate over the growth plan. You don't have the payment gateway with this method, but you can incorporate your own. It comes in very, very handy. So this Customthings takes the onus off you doing the designs, and it puts the customer in complete control. You're not going to accidentally type names wrong. However the customer's designed it, you engrave it exactly that way. Maybe if you see an error, you can reach out to them, but pretty much it takes all that time setting it up off your employees, and you can just do what you do best, and that's ship product. So make it and ship it. So xTool have made it pretty straightforward. In terms of adding products, it synchronizes with all the main platforms. So Etsy, Shopify, Wix, WooCommerce. I should say, I think some of them are coming out actually. Let me just double check. So it synchronizes with, so Shopify, Etsy, and WooCommerce. Wix is coming, so it will be synchronizing with Wix. I apologize for that. And then in terms of adding products, it's very seamless. So I just added this today, custom cards. If I click on that, I won't click on it, but that will take you to your store, show you your store ID where you can order stuff. In terms of editing it, it's very, very simple. I'm easily able to add different options. So here I've added just the actual product. So this is the product picture, product images. You can add more than one. So this is where you would take some cinematic photographs of finished product. So this is what will catch the customer's eye when they click on it. That's just a brief description. That's the title, custom card. So nothing extravagant. I've added a variant in terms of color. So I'm not doing a blue custom card, a yellow custom card, a red custom card. I'm just doing a single custom card and giving them the options of different colors. Here I'm able to set the price. And for the different variants, I've added different photos. So here, if I was to click on this, you can see red. So if I was to delete that and add it, product, cardstock, red. So I've labeled all this out. You can just take pictures yourself. So I've done that myself. The hardest thing to do is measure out this. So here is where you would physically measure the product. So this is a picture of the cardstock when it's folded, because you fold the cardstock in half. But when I get the cardstock, it is completely flat. So if I switch over to my desk camera, if I grab a red piece cardstock, so this is a couple pieces of cardstock actually. So you can see hopefully the line here. If I add some additional lighting, there we go. Turn that down a little bit. Okay, so there's a line here. So this is where I'll fold it. So I'm just going to measure the height and the width to this fold here. So it doesn't have to be dead accurate. So here, if I measure the height, for example, it's about 145. So if I switch over to this height here and go 145, it will automatically adjust the width. But what I'm going to do now is just measure the width, and just to make sure here, if I measure from here to here, don't ask me how, but it has it as 103.53, and somehow it's pretty much dead on, but I'll make that slightly smaller for reasons that will hopefully become clear. This is just a preview, so this bit doesn't need to be as accurate as the customizable area. So what I'll do here is I'll just say 99. I'll give it a little bit of leeway left and right. Now, the thing that does need to be on point is this customizable area. So it's this bit here. So in terms of customizable area, I'm going to say 95 wide. And if I just hit auto center, it will automatically center it. And then I will say in terms of height, 138. And again, center. So it's centered all that. And where it says hello, this is where the customer is able to do custom engravings. So the color here, template color, since this is red, obviously I don't want red color. I want some contrast. So black is generally the better one, but you can customize it per color. So if I offer a black card, stock engrave, I wouldn't want this black. I would want the text to be, say, white. I'm going to leave that as black. Hit OK, and it's that simple. Now, if I want to apply that setting to all of these, let's just say I edit this blue stock and I'll make this smaller. By default, it gives random images. So let's just delete this, in fact, and I'll add it on again. So I've got the blue cardstock here. And again, these are pictures I took myself. Pretty straightforward. As you can see, it's come up with all these weird sizes, a weird place here. We know that that one's wrong. So if I click apply to, and I'm going to say, select this attribute, product height, user defined area, apply to all variants. That will apply whatever I set here to all the different colors. So you don't have to keep going in. If you've got 6 colors, you don't have to work out the width and the height and all that stuff. As it's just a color variation, they're all the same size. Very, very simple. I'm only going to allow them to enter text. Upload image, I'm going to turn that off. Doodle, I'll let them doodle. Images, so I can let them use images that I've uploaded, so SVGs, so images that I know will engrave perfectly on card. So I can enable that if I want. Hit next. I've already got the parameters in here, so that's A6 cardstock bright colors. I recommend doing SKUs, so if you've got product SKUs, that way you can easily find parameters. If you've got print, that power printer, you can do the printing there. Confirm and publish. 3 SKU variants, and it's that simple. Publish, done. So now I'm able to go straight to the product. So if I was to just switch to, say, Safari for a second. There we go. So I just switch to Safari, and what I'm going to do is just copy and paste the link. So I've done that. Okay, now if I go back to the software, what I'm going to do in Safari, the reason why I'm not showing you is I don't want loads of bogus orders of people testing coming through. I made that mistake. So I've just pasted the link. And it's that simple. So you got custom card. This can be your logo. I've just left it as the default one, so I don't use this version of Customthings. I got the enterprise version. Red, yellow. If I hit customize, I'm able to customize it. And again, you got that work area. So if I hit doodle, you know, you can doodle on it. You can do all sorts of things. Text on there. So I've not really added much on here. So this, if I'm honest, isn't really functional at the moment. But if I was to show you the version that I've added. So cardstock. So this is the enterprise version. I'm doing this through the Customthings website. So rather than just through the xTool Creative Studio. So a lot of, if you've just got one store, if you're just a small crafting business, the one that you'll use will be the one through the xTool Creative Studio. If you've got more than one store and you want to manage your different stores, how much they're engraving, what they're engraving, you're able to do that with the enterprise version. And if you're looking at doing that, please reach out and we'll get something together for you. So this is the cardstock. If I click edit, and I've specifically put here F2 Ultra UV cardstock. So typically you wouldn't have that. I've just put that in there as I've got multiple machines and I just want to know what is the right one to select for what machine. So in your store, you'll typically just have one machine. Maybe if you have 2 machines, you'll only engrave cardstock on the smaller machine and leather and other stuff on the UV. So you won't have to name it like this. So you can give it whatever name you want. This is what makes sense to me. I've put it in the card category. And again, I've added color. So there is actually 5 different colors in this cardstock. So I'll go through now adding another color. So if we go into this, and I'm going to select green, what will happen now is it's popped up here. So if I delete this, it's gone. The customizable area, it can be customized by the variant. So again, I'm going to add green. And you can add up to 3 different variants. So, maybe you got small, medium, large. I'm only going to allow the front to be engraved, but I could quite easily allow the front and the back, because this is a flat piece of card that you fold. It's got a fold line in the middle. I could easily add front and back. But typically cards are just engraved on the front, so I'll not allow that option. Here is what devices you want to be able to engrave it with. So I've added this here. If I just disable my face, there we go. So yeah, so you add your different devices here. You can add more than one device. And there are reasons for that. For most people, it will just be the one device. What device you select here depends on what parameters you can find. So if you've added F2 or F1 parameter, say, you won't be able to find them. So this is the one I want. I've added green, and as you can see here, there's nothing there in terms of picture. Again, I'm going to upload picture. All squad, custom things, product pictures, cardstock, green. Upload. Let's do its magic. Again, it's come up with whatever it's come up with. It's not right. We know it's not right because we measured about 99 in terms of the width, but I'm just going to keep it there. You can see there the little outline. We know the engravable area for that is going to be way less. So all I do is I'll select one of these and I'll go apply that settings that we've set, apply the product height and the user defined proportions to all variants. Done. So you only have to set up one, and you can easily apply that them attributes to multiple colors, so you don't have to painstakingly go through them. Here I've set up the processing information. So in terms of when it says that, it's talking about the settings that you use to engrave it with. So the power, speed, the lines per centimeter, so the DPI. So it's talking about all of that. I've added that blue cardstock and I've tested it on the blue, the red, the yellow, purple, but not on the green yet. But I would imagine this, I've labeled it blue cardstock, but I believe it will work on the green too. But sometimes color does make a difference. I've found it, especially on the other types of laser. Different colors absorb the energy differently, and you can easily burn through items that you typically wouldn't in a different color, even though they're the same material. They're just a different color. It's just the way it works. So you're able to customize based on color. So I could go add new parameters, select and go green, and have some very specific parameters. So I could go card. It's got that blue cardstock there. I could go create, and I could actually create some new parameters, and I could go card stock green engrave, and I would select the specific machine here. So it's the standard F2 Ultra UV. In terms of power, I could go, actually it needs less power, 60 power, 300 speed still, 1 pass. And that's for line engraving. Same thing, process for actual engraving, sorry. So speed 300, you'll have the lines per centimeter to 120. And you can even choose the engraving mode bi-directional or unidirectional. So all the difference is it will engrave both ways there. So as the laser moves from left to right, it will engrave as it goes from right to left. Whereas unidirectional, it will only engrave one way, so it effectively doubles the time. And there are reasons why you might want to engrave that way, but we won't get into that today. But you would just simply save that, and you're able then to find the settings if you was to refresh it. So I'll simply just use the same settings, as I am pretty sure it will work. So I'll just select green. Now I've added the settings, laser plane, that's the mode. So this left and right, this is where the material is expected. So it automatically centers the design to here. So it starts there in the top left, and the design will pop out from left to right and obviously down. So I've just added a roughly where we would put it. But we will align it using the frame. And then the z-axis, this is how thick the material is. So this is an automatic measure. So I've measured it, and it's with the cutting base on. So that black thing that you've seen earlier in the bed, it's 20.6 millimeters with the material on it from the base. I've allowed some templates, and I'll show you hopefully how to do templates. You just do it in xTool Creative Studio, you save it and you upload it. Really straightforward. So this is what will allow you to have pre-made templates, and all the user has to do is change one element. So birthday queen, the something edition, birthday king, the something edition. So I've easily able to change that name in the middle there, so they can't edit any other aspect. It's just the name. Very simple, very quickly. If they want to start from scratch, they can enter text, they can doodle, and I've also allowed them to use images I've added. In this case, birthday images. So again, you can see that birthday queen and maybe even the birthday king, yeah, there. And they can move that around. I've enabled what stores I want it on. So again, this is the enterprise version. And if I hit publish, it's done. That simple. So there's two ways to access it. The first way is through the kiosk, which I'll show you. Again, you don't need a kiosk. You can download this app onto your own tablet. So if I aim it at the kiosk and I switch over to the engraver cam. So customize, first thing I'm going to do, since I updated the settings, I'm just going to go to the back end and go to settings, and here, hopefully if I just turn this to, hopefully it won't go out of focus. So here you can see a little red dot. Click on that red dot. That means there's an update. I've added the green color to the cardstock. Done. Now this is what the customer will see. Again, this is locked out. So when they click up here, that's what the passcode's for. They go, okay, card, customize. And again, you can customize all this to make it look nice and pretty. Customize. What do I want? I want green. I want to customize. So the templates, text, stickers, signature. So signature is simply me doodling. That stickers is simply the images that we allow the customer to use. So I know these are all will engrave perfectly fine on card. So I could go, okay, happy birthday. The customer is able to resize this to however they want. So they could go happy birthday and go, actually, I want to add some text, and underneath, I want to say bread. Happy birthday, Fred. Change the font. And you can specifically disable certain fonts. So certain fonts on here, Reptilian, that'll turn out absolutely fine. But then the other font that I just saw, like that font might not turn out as good on cardstock. So I can disable what fonts they can use. I would recommend giving them a more limited choice in terms of fonts, as it could take too long for the customer to make a decision, so you might overwhelm them. Simply do that and then hit confirm. And then what it will do, I can process this. So I don't think, so it's automatically connected to my F2 Ultra. If we use to switch around to the Ultra now, and let's just say I do put the green one in. So we will test the green. I just want you to see. So I'll put this in. And this key thing is it needs to sit flat. So sometimes with cardstock, it might be riding up a little bit. So what you can do is just, weigh it down a little bit. So I'm just going to put that there. I'm looking at the focus. Yeah, it's actually in focus with what I did. If I aim again back at the kiosk, you got this little picture sign here. Hit that picture sign, it's going to take a picture again. I can line up this on the actual image. Preset measure, so that's the measurement we set in the back end. We already measured the material, I did. Framing, so if I hit that framing, right now it's going to frame the material on the there. So you should hopefully see that. Might look a little bit weird, but this is going around. Believe it or not, you might not see it, might miss it with the on YouTube, but 60 frames a second should pick it up. I think it's streaming at 30. I might be wrong, but it's showing a solid outline of where we want it. And it's that simple. I close this, I hit the process button, and it will engrave it. What we will do though is I won't use the kiosk. I will show you the online version. And again, I won't show you the actual store because this is a demo store. And again, I don't want a whole orders popping through. So what I'll do, I will go to the store now. There we go. Okay, so if I switch over to Safari, I'll stop that from framing actually. That would be helpful. Stop framing. I'm going to abandon that order. Just close out of it. Okay, so if you don't have a kiosk, if you want the customer to be able to scan a QR code, you can do so, and it's as simple as customer goes, orders online, scans QR code. You can do this on your phone. So I'm going to select green, customize it, and I'm going to use an image. No, I'll use a template, show you how that works. So we'll do this little fist bump. So Father's Day, you got dad, and you got name here. I can't click on anything else. I can't move anything else. The only thing I can do is change this name. And again, I will change this and I'll say Wayne. And I can move that around. So I could move this wherever I want. So this is the only field I can customize. And I've selected by default the font that I like, which is Blackjack. So I'll leave that just there and I'll hit confirm design. Contact name, Wayne. I can enter a email address. I have to enter an email address. So we'll do wayne@sendcd.com and I'll hit confirm. Orders done, complete. So I'm happy with that. Now, if I go back to this, if I go back to orders, my orders come through. I hit process. You might not have seen that, but it's opening up now in xTool Creative Studio. So it won't take an image because I've got the tablet paired with it. But if I was to show you the engraver, and I'll frame that out, I don't know. So you can see here, it's got all the settings. So it's going to take 1 minute 17. So what I'll do is I'll make that engraver cam big. And if I enable autofocus again, zoom out. There we go. So let me just make sure this is in the right place. I'm happy with it. And you're just seeing how easy it was. So I know it's a green cardstock on the order. I hit that, and now all I have to do is send the job. So if I show you again the screen, so I just have to send this. So if I hit start, it's sending the file. Switch you over, it's going to engrave it. So I've never engraved on the green cardstock. We'll see how it's going to engrave. It might not be ideal. If it isn't, we can change the settings. And again, if I switch over to here, so if I click on this, you can see green cardstock. And let me see if I can, there we go. If I do that and switch to the UV base, there we go. So here's why I would recommend doing SKUs. So if you're a large shop, rather than just say green cardstock, you might have loads of green cardstock, so use a meaningful name. If you use SKUs for your current online orders or even offline orders, do a SKU. Maybe I'll speak to xTool to add SKUs to it, so you got a SKU on this. But yeah, it's that simple. Hit process, opens up in xTool Creative Studio, and you can run it off the xTool Creative Studio off your computer. You can download the xTool Creative Studio file physically, so rather than it just open it. And you can download the PNG file. So the PNG file literally looks like this. So it's not helpful in terms of engraving, but it shows you a preview of what the customer ordered, really. So you want to download the XCS. So if I switch over to the desk camera, what I'll do is I'll take this out now. And you can see not the best settings, but yeah, it works. And that is pretty much that in a nutshell. So that is all we have time for today. Thank you for tuning in. I hope it was insightful. Tomorrow we'll look at, or Thursday even, we'll look at keychains, so little bamboo keychains. I've added some designs for that, but you can see that this Customthings, it simplifies your life. If you are getting a whole wide range of orders, so if you currently do it through Etsy, you have to copy and paste. So you have this little text box that you have to enter stuff in if you're customizing. If you're the reseller, you have to copy and paste that sort of stuff out. So that takes time to do that and then add it into the design. So maybe you've got a template, you have to copy and paste it into the template. That takes time. With this, you add the template, you put in the onus on the customer, get the design right. And whatever the customer did, it's up to you just to engrave it. And you just saw how quickly I was able to click process, and it opened up straight away into xTool Creative Studio. So xTool have done a fantastic job at creating this whole ecosystem. And again, if you want to reach out to me, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me using the contact information on the left. Thank you.